Okay guys, as you can see here, I already finished all the fuselage part, the tail section, part 3. The total length is about 4.5 meters. Let's see how I build the tail section. Check this out. Follow these steps to build the tail section. Hold the part and wait for at least 1 minute after each gluing process. As usual, apply hot glue bit by bit, wait until it's set and then continue gluing again. I use 3mm foam board for the skins and 5mm for the formers. Add 5mm foam to make the skin slightly rigid like this. Now I'm making the top segment. You need to see the plans for the direction of the skin. You may encounter the former that is a bit short or a bit big. You can patch the formers with foam like this, but leave the skin as it is. Now combine the lower with the top segment. Make holes on formers to save weight. This is 3mm PVC foam board. You can replace it with 3mm plywood to make a hard point between the tail and fuse segments to protect the foam. Insert 5mm carbon tube like this. Make sure the tube is 90 degrees straight before secure it with foam and hot glue. Mark the tube positions on the opposite segment, which is the fuse. Make holes on each mark so the tube can easily go through. Make paper tube for housing each tubes like this. And then secure the housing with foam and glue like you did on the tubes. Continue building the tail. Okay, this segment is already finished. The segment will be placed between the fuse and the tail that has the stabilizers. So the fuselage of this plane is segmented into 4 segments. Continue building the tail. Here I'm back using 3mm plywood instead of PVC foam board for horizontal stabilizer, former and spar. Sand the leading edge until it has a slope profile like this. Here I'm making score lines with a fork for easier bending and curving on this foam. Use a heat gun to heat the foam while bending it to make the curved shape. Because there are many surfaces that need to be glued at once, then I use foam safe glue instead of hot glue. But for instant bond, I use hot glue for the leading edge and the root former. Make a wingtip like this. Cut the elevator according to the plans. And prepare it like this. This 9mm plywood is to hold the control horn later. This is the upper last segment of the tail that will housing the construction of the horizontal stabilizer. Glue the formers on the bottom first, then move to the rest when it already settled. Combine both horizontal stabilizer with joiner parts. Make holes on the foam sides, make them bigger than the slot size on the formers. You may have to make the slot bigger too, for them to be able to receive the stabilizer. secure with CA glue when everything are in place. Here I'm making the lower segment. And here how I assemble the vertical stabilizer. Add 2 paper housing for receiving 10 mm carbon tube for the vertical step. Close the tail with the lower segment. Fitting test on the fuselage. On this photo I haven't glued the tail section yet because I need to make sure the horizontal stabilizer is already leveled or not. After all stabilizers is leveled and straight, I glue the tail. Here's how I prepare the rudder. Carve and sand it smooth on this part. I use styrofoam block for this. Wet sand all the imperfection with medium sandpaper 240. You can use cutter knife to trim some excess foam or glue and sand it smooth on the seams. All surfaces on the tail section already covered with white packing tape like this. Here I'm about to sand the surface that will be painted. I decided to use spray paint to save money to print the stickers, because I thought it's too expensive, about $20 to print, but only $10 with spray paint. Plus, I still have the paint for future projects. Here I already draw lines for applying masking for painting. For paint the different color pattern, I use wet paper for masking. Here I wipe all water droplets with tissue paper before applying paint. Remove wet paper masking right after you finish applying paint. Here the tail section and the stabilizer already painted, ready to add decals. Okay guys, that's it for part 3. I will continue in part 4 after I make a new model after this. The next episode will be T6 Texan 2, like this. Okay guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, consider to subscribe and hit the like button. And also if you want to support me even more, you can join the membership. Thanks again, see you in the next episode.